My heart stopped when I saw the photos. My cousin's bridal shower, everyone laughing, toasting except me. My own family left me out, saying I'd ruin her day. What I uncovered next tore us apart. Watch my story unfold. I'm Emma, a graphic designer living in a cozy Portland, Maine, condo I bought with years of late-night logo sketches and client pitches. My life was built on hard work, every dollar earned through my little hobby, as my family calls it, despite contracts with brands like Coastal Brew and Pine State Apparel. But nothing prepared me for the moment my phone lit up with photos that broke my world apart. The coffee mug slipped from my hand, exploding against the kitchen tile like a gunshot. Ceramic shards scattered, but I barely noticed. My eyes were glued to my phone, thumbs swiping through Instagram posts of my cousin Lily's bridal shower at Cliffside Manor, a venue I'd once suggested to her over dinner. 32 guests, cousins I hadn't seen since high school, my mother's book club friends, even my great-uncle with his creaky cane, smiled under string lights, raising glasses of rose. Coral and sage centerpieces, Lily's favorites, adorned every table. The photos screamed joy, celebration, perfection. And I wasn't in a single one. Just weeks ago, I'd sent Lily a hand-lettered card with dried lavender from my balcony garden, congratulating her on her engagement. I'd offered to design her wedding invitations, free of charge, a gesture from one cousin to another. She'd texted back a heart emoji, nothing more. Now, staring at those photos, I realized this wasn't an oversight. I hadn't been forgotten. I'd been erased. The spring sunlight streaming through my windows felt like a spotlight on my isolation. I sank onto a kitchen stool, memories crashing over me like waves on Maine's rocky coast. Last Thanksgiving at my Aunt Vivian's house, her voice had boomed across the dining room, praising Lily's promotion to partner at her law firm. Only 28, and already a star, Vivian had said, her eyes gleaming with pride. Then her gaze slid to me, her smile tightening. Emma's still tinkering with her designs, aren't you? My tinkering had paid for my condo, a fact I'd mention later that evening. The table had gone quiet before pivoting to Lily's emerald-cut engagement ring. My parents sat through it all, nodding like they agreed. My mother, a retired schoolteacher who valued peace over truth, never spoke up. My father, always distracted by his phone, didn't either. I'd swallowed the hurt, smiled, and passed the mashed potatoes. But now, those moments stung sharper, each one a brick in the wall my family had built between us. I grabbed my phone, hands shaking, and called my mother. She answered on the fifth ring, her voice laced with that familiar mix of concern and judgment. Emma? Everything okay? Was there a bridal shower for Lily yesterday? I asked, my voice steadier than I felt. Why wasn't I invited? A long pause. Then a sigh. Oh, honey, it's complicated. Vivian thought you might make it about yourself. Lily deserves her moment. The words hit like a slap. Make it about myself? When have I ever? Please, Emma, don't start, she cut in. This is exactly why. We didn't want drama. Drama. The word echoed, branding me as the problem. My shoulders, hunched without me realizing, straightened. So, I'm drama now? That's what you all think. It's not personal, she said, her go-to phrase for dismissing me. It's just better this way. Not personal. I ended the call, my pulse pounding in my ears. I dialed Vivian next, my aunt's number glowing on the screen. She answered, her tone sharp. Emma. I figured you'd call. Why wasn't I invited? I asked, skipping pleasantries. A pause, then her voice, cold as the Atlantic in winter. Lily deserves a day that's hers. You'd overshadow it. We've talked about this as a family. Overshadow. As if my presence would dim Lily's light. As if being her cousin, her only cousin, meant nothing. We've talked about this, she repeated. Don't make it bigger than it needs to be. Some relationships are already fragile. The threat was clear. Push back, and I'd lose what little family connection remained. I hung up, staring out my window at Portland's skyline. A gull soared past, free in a way I envied. My family cared more about appearances than me. They always had. The next morning, my phone pinged while I was sketching a logo for a new client, a boutique bakery in Freeport. I almost ignored it. Deadlines don't wait. But the notification was a group text from Vivian. Don't forget Lily's wedding flowers for Saturday. Glad we kept Emma out. Less drama. My pencil froze, the room tilting. I read it again. Heart racing. Not a mistake. A deliberate exclusion, confirmed in black and white. I screenshotted it before it vanished, deleted by Vivian, but not before I'd captured the truth. I drove to my parents' house in Yarmouth, the screenshot like a weight in my pocket. My mother answered the door, dirt smudged on her cheek from gardening. Emma, what a nice surprise. Tea, she said, as if nothing was wrong. I followed her to the living room, where she sank into her armchair, surrounded by photos of Lily, her graduation, her engagement, her law firm headshot. My face was there too, but always half hidden, a shadow in the frame. I got a message yesterday, I said, showing her the screenshot. Her face didn't register shock, only a tired acceptance. We thought it was easier this way, she said, smoothing her jeans. Lily deserves a perfect wedding. Easier? I repeated, my voice tight. You mean excluding me? Don't be dramatic, she said, her tone sharp. Maybe make other plans that weekend. Other plans? I laughed, bitter. While Lily gets married at Cliffside Manor with every relative except me? Her eyebrows lifted. How do you know the venue? Rachel called about carpooling, I said, watching her flinch. She'd assumed I'd be there, oblivious to the family's plan. What have you told everyone about me? She looked away, picking at her sleeve. Just that you're sensitive about Lily's success. The betrayal cut deep. Years of sitting quietly while Lily was toasted, my condo purchase ignored, my national clients brushed off as hobbies. You've painted me as jealous, I said, voice low. You're erasing me from the family. That's not true, she protested, but her eyes stayed on the floor. We just want peace. Peace. I laughed again, harsher. By making me the villain? She stood, moving to the window. Your father and I have helped with your condo taxes. If you make trouble, the threat hung heavy. I left without a word, driving aimlessly along Route 1, the ocean glinting to my right. 3 client deadlines passed as I sat in my condo, staring at my phone, waiting for an apology that never came. My confidence, once solid, cracked under the weight of their dismissal. That night, Sophie arrived with Thai takeout and a bottle of Pinot Grigio. She listened as I poured out the hurt, her dark eyes steady. This is manipulation, she said, refilling my glass. They're gaslighting you, making you the problem when they're the ones cutting you out. Vivian and your mom are controlling the story. Her words were a lifeline. Later, on my balcony, a gull perched on the railing, its white feathers stark against the dusk. I sipped warm wine, wondering, fight to be seen at Lily's wedding or walk away and build something of my own. Lily's engagement photos hit my Instagram at 7:42 a.m., her smile radiant against a backdrop of autumn pines. The caption sliced through me. Grateful for those who've always supported us, keeping our wedding intimate with true family. 3 messages followed from distant cousins I barely knew. Why stir drama during Lily's moment? Family supports family. Vivian's upset about your attitude. I set my phone down, hands trembling. They'd rewritten history, claiming I'd declined an invite I never received. That evening, my grandmother called, her voice shaky. Emma, I didn't think you'd skip Lily's day out of spite. Grandma, I wasn't invited, I said, gripping a soapy plate. Vivian told everyone I was jealous. That's not what she said, she replied, certain. She said you couldn't let Lily have her moment. The water ran cold over my hands as I stood at the sink, the family's narrative solidifying without me. Sophie, who still talked to my mother, confirmed Vivian was spreading tales of my jealousy issues across her book club and church group. The fallout hit my business next. Seaside Crafts, a client, canceled a $15,000 branding project, citing fit issues. Their CEO golfs with my uncle. A week later, Maine Made Gifts dropped our contract. Another $12,000 gone. Vivian's influence was everywhere. Sleep eluded me. I spent nights tweaking my portfolio website, each click a rebellion against the whispers. I avoided my favorite coffee shop, the Bean Tide, after spotting Vivian's bridge club there. I drove 20 minutes to a different grocery store to dodge my mother's friend picking out blueberries. Social media became a minefield, each notification spiking my pulse. Then an anonymous text, "Some people aren't stable enough for big events. Your absence helps everyone." Vivian's words, cloaked in fake concern. I was crumbling when Sophie's voice came through my door. "Emma, I've got tie and wedding magazines." She burst in, arms full, her camera bag slung over her shoulder. "Let's plan something real," she said, spreading magazines across my coffee table. "A celebration for you, not them." My mother's car pulled into my parking lot. I lied about a client call, but she walked in anyway, her eyes scanning my condo like she was looking for flaws. "We need to talk," she said, sitting on my couch, purse on her knees. "This has gone far enough. Lily's invitations are printed. Let it go." "This isn't about an invitation," I said, standing tall. "It's about years of being less than." Her face tightened. "If you can't support Lily, maybe you're not the daughter I thought." The words should have broken me. Instead, they clarified everything. "I'm exactly who you raised," I said. "I just stopped playing the role you gave me." That night, Sophie and I sat on my balcony, pad thai growing cold. She scrolled her phone. "I've got a shoot in Cape Elizabeth next month. Come with me. We'll make it a working getaway." Tears stung my eyes. While my family built walls, Sophie offered doors. Then a text from my friend Caleb, declined Lily's invite. "Not going where you're not welcome." The next morning, I pitched my design business at a Portland networking event, my voice steady for the first time in weeks. 2 clients booked meetings. Something was shifting, a quiet strength replacing the need for family approval. In Cape Elizabeth, the ocean stretched endless before Sophie and me, waves crashing against the cliffs. At a bookstore near Two Light State Park, I met Noah, who owned the shop and restored old coastal homes. His warm eyes and thoughtful questions about my design work felt like a balm. After our third coffee, he invited me to his restored lighthouse keeper's cottage. "The sunset's unreal," he said. "Perfect for someone with your eye." Standing on his terrace, watching the sky burn orange, I realized I didn't need to fight for a seat at Lily's wedding. I could write my own story. Noah offered his cottage for a celebration, and I poured my heart into it. Hand-designed invites, botanical menus, a playlist of songs that felt like home. We set the date for May 15th, weeks before Lily's wedding, or so I thought. My phone rang as I adjusted a font on an invitation mock-up. Vivian's name flashed. "What's this about a party at a lighthouse?" she snapped. "Take down those social media posts." "What posts?" I asked, confused. Sophie had shared a save the date on her photography page, not me. "It's the same day as Lily's wedding," Vivian said, her voice syrupy with fake concern. "May 15th at Cliffside Manor." Everyone was told. My stomach dropped. They'd moved Lily's date and didn't tell me. "You're splitting the family," she continued. "Think about what you're doing." Panic flared. Should I change my date? Apologize? But Noah's steady presence, washing mugs in the sink, grounded me. "I'm not moving my date," I said. "People can choose where to go. You've made your choice clear." I hung up, heart pounding. Noah asked, "Change the date?" "No," I said, firm. "This is our day." Sophie texted, her final shots of my invitation design glowing on my screen. "Photography's my gift," she wrote. Caleb offered to curate wines, and my friend Mia planned to source local flowers. My celebration was becoming a weekend of joy, built by people who saw me. Family texts poured in, Vivian calling me selfish, my mother pleading for compromise. But my friends shielded me. When Vivian sent a rant, Sophie countered with cottage photos. When my mother texted, Noah handed me fabric swatches for table runners. Then Rachel texted, "Grandma's asking why you were left out." Vivian's stories unraveling. The next day, my uncle texted, "Lily's explanations don't add up." Cracks were forming. That evening, my grandmother called. Emma, tell me your side, she said, voice soft. I explained everything, my mother's voicemail beeping through. We need to compromise, she said, strained. I ignored it, watching the sunset from Noah's garden, feeling steady for the first time. 3 days before my event, my mother and Vivian showed up at my condo, clutching their purses like shields. We have a compromise, my mother said. Come to Lily's reception, not the ceremony. Cancel your party. Think of how this looks, Vivian added. 2 events divide the family. Your grandmother's heart can't take it. I opened my portfolio, showing watercolor sketches of my seaside gathering, 18 guests, amber and sage decor, hand-lettered menus. This is my celebration, I said. Set before I knew about Lily's date change. It's not about her. Or you. My mother looked stunned. Why didn't you tell us? I respected your choice to exclude me, I said. I didn't think you'd care. Vivian stood, pacing. This doesn't change anything. Lily's wedding is the real event. I'm not pretending, I said, sliding my portfolio across the table. This is my work. My life. You called it a hobby, but it pays for this condo. 3 brands hired me for these designs. My mother stared at a photo of Noah and me, her certainty wavering. Were we that cruel? She whispered. Vivian stormed out, but my mother lingered. Her phone chimed. A text from my cousin Deborah. She wants to come to your event, my mother said, bewildered. How does she know? People talk, I said. Like you did about me. May 15th arrived, the main sky ablaze with color as the sun dipped toward the horizon. Noah's lighthouse cottage glowed with string lights, my hand-designed menus on tables draped in linen. 18 guests, Sophie, Caleb, Mia, and a few relatives like Rachel, laughed and clinked glasses, their presence a testament to chosen family. I moved through the evening, heart full, no longer seeking approval from those who'd shut me out. A local wedding vlog, Coastal Vows, featured our event the next day, praising its authentic warmth over lavish excess. The post went viral, racking up 90,000 likes. Comments flooded in, strangers applauding my vision. Emma's designs redefine celebration, a design influencer wrote. Meanwhile, Lily's $100,000 wedding at Cliffside Manor faded from social media, its 200 guests lost in the noise. My design business exploded. 3 major brands, Atlantic Outfitters, Harbor Roasters, and a Boston hotel chain, booked contracts, doubling my income overnight. Coastal Vows requested an interview, focusing on my work's authenticity. The irony wasn't lost on me. They excluded me to dim my light. I told Noah, watching Portland's skyline from our new apartment, a cozy space filled with light. Now it's shining brighter. A week later, a letter arrived from Vivian, demanding I decline the interview to respect Lily's privacy. I tucked it away, calm washing over me. I mailed her a copy of my latest design magazine feature with a note. I'm not competing. I'm living my story. Sophie called, ecstatic. You're headlining a design showcase in Kennebunkport. 30 artists and you're the star. The event, at a restored estate, celebrated creators who prioritize substance over flash. At the opening, Sophie toasted, writing our own stories, and the room cheered. I stood among people who saw me, the contrast to family dinner stark. A month later, Vivian and Lily appeared at my apartment. Was this necessary? Vivian snapped, gesturing at my showcase awards. The magazine? The spotlight. I met their eyes, calm. This isn't about you. It's the first time I've celebrated without fear of your judgment. Lily shifted, uncomfortable, but said nothing. Vivian left, stiff and silent. Lily glanced back, her expression unreadable. As they walked away, I wondered if healing meant both sides owning the hurt, or if I should tend my own garden and let them choose theirs. My grandmother called that evening. I'm sorry, Emma, she said, voice trembling. I should have asked you first. Rachel and my uncle followed, questioning Vivian's narrative. Even my mother texted, asking to meet. I watered my balcony plants, the sunset, painting Portland gold. For the first time, facing my family didn't scare me. I was rooted in my own truth. To everyone who's followed my journey, Thank you. You've walked with me through betrayal, heartbreak, and triumph. If my story moved you, hit subscribe and join us. Every design, every moment, tells a story of resilience, heart, and new beginnings. Keep crafting your own truth, and I'll meet you where authenticity shines.